Hello YouTube, Spirits, Grapes, and Hops back at it with another video. So if you've ever found yourself asking, what tools do I need, or what are these different strainers or different components to making drinks to be a better at-home bartender, go ahead and click the subscribe button now and hit the bell icon so you get notifications, because we're going to cover that in today's video, but this is also something that's going to be in a lot of our videos in the future. So let's jump right into today's topic, which is going to be the tools that you need to be an effective at-home bartender. So let's start off with the strainers first. So you've got 3 different kinds of strainers, all right? So first we're going to start with the cocktail strainer, also known as the Hawthorne strainer. So you kind of see these, something that looks similar to these 2 varieties. They're the same thing, all right? This is a little bit more basic one, a little bit wider here. This is a cheaper variety, you know, a couple dollars. You can get this thing anywhere. This one, again, not very expensive at all, less than $10. But you can tell it's a little bit better quality. It's got some holes here, you know, a little bit more artsy. Sometimes they're flared, but most importantly, a finer strain here. And that's what's important. The finer the strain is, it's going to collect more of those fruit particles in some of the drinks and make the drink and the cocktail that you're making a little bit better quality. Moving on from there, we have just a basic fine mesh strainer. So this is going to be used anytime that you have a piece of fruit in the cocktail shaker itself where you're really going to have a heavy pulp that you need to double strain. That's going to be where you want to use this, because the cocktail strainer is not going to get all that out, so then you'll actually double strain it with the mesh strainer. Then last, we have a julep strainer. Okay, this is not a requirement, but a lot of bartending kits have it as part of it, so it's a nice to have but not a need to have. And when you use this, is any drink that does not have fruit in it. So drinks that have fruit need to be shaken. Drinks that just have spirits and cordials, alcoholic based mixers, those get mixed in a glass with ice and spun with a spoon as opposed to being shaken. So in that case, you can use this strainer. But at the same token, your cocktail strainer works just as well. So if you're trying to, you know, have a bartending set and you're on a budget, just get the basic cocktail strainer. It'll work just fine. Moving on from there, you've got your basic pour spout. Okay, these are nice when you're a little bit more experienced and you get a couple of these in your normal spirit bottles. You can count your pours and be a little faster. So if you have a group party or something that you're trying to entertain people and you're a little bit more experienced, these can be handy. But I would recommend using a jigger for your measurements, because a lot of drinks, to be consistent with the flavor, you want to have the proportions right. So I'm holding up 2 different varieties of jiggers, or measuring container for your spirits. So this is a 1/2 by 1 ounce. So a 1/2 ounce on this side, 1 ounce on this side jigger. These also come in a 1 ounce by 2 ounce size. And then you have something that looks more like this. This is a cheap plastic. You can get this at any convenience store like Target, Walmart, etc., Amazon, online, OXO. And if you can see inside here, it measures the ounces: a 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, 1 ounce, all the way up to 2 ounce. So this is nice because it's kind of a one size fits all. You can use this for everything. And they come in a stainless steel variety, which I would actually recommend, even though that's not what I use. Because again, I found this at Target. It was like $1 or something, and I didn't have one, so I grabbed it. We'll move on to the muddler. So this is, in some cocktails, you'll muddle sugar cubes, fruit like oranges, maybe an orange slice, or mint leaves, basil, cucumber, etc. You'll muddle this in the glass. So it's a nice thing to have, because if you don't have one of these muddlers and you're in that kind of cocktail, it's really hard to replicate that with like a spoon, any other kitchen tools. It's just kind of hard to do that without something like this. So and it comes as part of a cocktail, a bartending kit, so it's really an easy thing to pick up and it's not very expensive. Next up is a bar spoon. So this is, I would say, underrated. If you don't have one of these, it's really hard to replicate this with a regular spoon. And that's not because of the spoon part, but it's really more because of the spiraled shaft. So if you're trying to make a drink that's spirit only here and you're not shaking it, try to, and you can do this at home, but try to take one of your normal spoons that has that flat shaft on it and try to rotate it with the back of the spoon on the glass, which is what you're typically trying to do when you're making one of these drinks. It's really hard, but the spiral in this helps do that, and then you can kind of see, even as I'm doing it in a slow fashion, you're kind of rotating up, and that spiral is what helps, you know, keep that motion fluid. While I'm holding the Yari glass here, this is a Yari, and this is used for mixing your non-shaken drinks. And again, as I stated before, that's going to be things like old fashions, Manhattans, anything that has no fruit in it. If it doesn't have fruit, then it doesn't need to be shaken. So a martini is typically stirred in an old-fashioned sense, not shaken. So you're going to make that in something like this. Tongs, also a great accessory. Not necessary for the at-home bar, but again, they come with a lot of these sets, so it's nice to have, you know, just for cleanliness or picking out ice cubes, your lemon wedges, etc. Again, not necessary. You can use a spoon. I use my hands even sometimes. But last, you got the shaker tins. Stainless steel is what you need to make sure that you have here. This is a weighted set. You can see that here by this extra rib here at the bottom, and that's just going to give you, again, just like it sounds, it's weighted on both ends, so it's going to give you a little bit more substance when you're shaking. It's also going to help once you get a little bit more experience, if you want to have a little flair, spin the shaker in your hand, try to do some, you know, cocktail flips from the Tom Cruise movie back in the day. This is what you're going to want to use. But a little bit cheaper if you want to get the non-weighted set. Again, you're going to mix drinks just fine either way. The important part is the stainless steel, because stainless steel doesn't hold on to odors. It's going to be easy to clean, and then it's going to be very easy to clean and rinse in between drinks and not mix those flavors and smells. So that is the last component that we have for you today for the basic tools of the at-home bartender set. So again, if you like this content and you want to learn more about how to make drinks, how to be an efficient at-home bartender, then click the subscribe button now. Stay tuned for more videos in the future, and we'll be back with some more content real soon. Thanks.